Hey, welcome to another episode of the Red River Rundown. Today it's just Isaiah and myself. We are watching the Eastern Conference Finals live. We had some stuff to talk about. Obviously, it's Memorial Day weekend, so Cam out in the lake doing lake things. So Isaiah, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. It's graduation season, and I think you know just as well as I know. Did a little traveling yesterday. Um, Went to Canute, Oklahoma to watch my cousin graduate from high school, and I felt like it was a complete fever dream. I've never seen some of the most weird things happen at a high school graduation. Respectfully, a girl faded, another kid fell off the stage.
Damn, how big was the stage?
There I mean, it's like
Normal size?
make normal size, but this kid did it as a joke. But not a lot of people knew about it. I guess I had to ask my cousin about it after the fact. Whenever he told me, there was a keynote speaker that had a PowerPoint slide, and he showed the old Orbit commercial where they're like, "You lit liquor," that was
Got it.
part of his presentation. It was it
Hey,
was different.
I feel
Class
that.
of
I feel that,
36
bro.
people. It took them 2.5 hours for a class of 36
Two
people.
and a
So,
half? I don't know how
yeah,
many
bro.
my nephews
Yeah.
had. It was a bunch. It was a bunch, and it wasn't no 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like they had it was
Yeah.
faster than ours in Lincoln County. Like low key, like the thing
Yeah.
that made it longer was the amount of names. But as far as the
Yeah.
graduation and stuff, like it was. I'm
Well, I,
valedictorian and I'm happy, and go out there and shoot for the stars.
yeah. Welcome, graduating. Welcome, my friends and family, here tonight to celebrate a beautiful thing. Everybody was reading off the typed up
Yeah, yeah.
speech.
You got to, bruh.
So,
You got
dream
to.
big and shoot for the stars.
Hey, for
Let's
everybody
welcome.
graduating, I got one message for you. Listen to what they said and don't forget it because usually they give you good advice, but people like I can't remember what anybody said at my graduation. I was lit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um I mean they probably
That's for
had
sure.
great messages that if I would have listened to I would have been like well off. But so the
Yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals finally tipped off.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, what's your thoughts on the Eastern Conference Finals so far? What, the Knicks are up 2-0 in the series. Do you think the Cavs can turn it around? You think they can make this a series, and do you think that they can even win the series?
I'm feeling the same way I felt about how I thought it was going to be an interesting matchup because Philly knocked off the Boston Celtics, and game one or game two was really close. And then the Knicks just went on a torrential downpour of a run to kind of close the gap and then win that game. It's kind of giving that same feeling like all the gas has been let out of the tank of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they're going to have to do something really, really different because the most insane thing to me that's happened with the Knicks' current run, one, they've won 9 straight games. Let's just start there. They've won 9 straight. Then on top of that, they're the amount of offense that they're able to pour out night in and night out, and the runs that they're able to go on. This I've never seen this ever in a Knicks team for one, and they're putting up like a buck 20 a game, easy, easy buck 20, and
I
this
think
is
the buck
coming,
20 is crazy too because Brunson's not getting to the line a lot. Like they just getting buckets.
bro. This is just hooping out there. Like
They
I think that's
it's
what's
very evident
interesting to
with
me.
like the Thunder too because the thing with the Knicks is you don't know where it's gonna come from. Some nights it's Brunson,
Exactly,
some nights it's OG, some nights it's Cat, some nights it's Josh Hart. You know what I mean? Like some Mikal Bridges has been playing better. Like, it's crazy.
exactly, bro. I mean, the people that they typically bring in off the bench are their defensive guys, but they always leave one of their more offensive threats on the floor the majority of the game. The, bi-
It's
the
crazy that
biggest
it
thing
took them.
too.
It's crazy it took them to the fourth quarter of game one to realize like we should probably attack James Harden. We should probably
Yes,
attack
we
attack
should
him.
just expose James. I feel like that's kind of the a formula that they figured out whenever they were playing against the Hawks. They kept going at CJ. Did whenever they played the Sixers, they were either going at Edgecombe or they were going at Maxey on the defensive side to get that switch. And it's not like they're doing anything crazy, man. They're just getting switches for what they want on the offensive side of the ball. And Cat is just doing everything that he needs to do to help them win. He's not having to score 25 to 30. He's coming up with like 7, 8 assists a night, like averaging that, getting about 9 to 10 boards. Like, this is a different level of play that I've ever seen from him because usually it's like, Cat, we need you to drop about 30.
You think this is kind of what Jimmy meant way back when they were in mini? When Jimmy was like, this dude ain't it like that? You think this is probably the best role that Cat has been in? Because I think one thing that I've been able to understand with Cat since he's been in the league, and it's no disrespect, but I think sometimes we want players to be the superstar of the team, and sometimes where they're drafted, they need to. But for them, sometimes they need to be in the role that Karl Anthony Towns is in right now, which is
Yeah.
I can do it when I need to. Every blue moon, like I can give you 30. Don't forget, don't get it twisted. But for the most part, I'm just here playing in a team role, given what I need to. If I need to rebound tonight, I can. If I need to play make tonight, I can. If I need to get buckets tonight, I can. But do you think this is probably the best situation that Karl Anthony Towns has been in?
I think it's the best version of him that we've seen because coming to New York, Jalen Brunson was seen as a good role scoring role option whenever he was in Dallas. So like the proven guy was Cat. Cat coming from Minnesota, it was him. So I think they kind of saw like they kind of turned Jalen Brunson loose, and so that changing of guard kind of happened, and it put him in the position to be like, oh, I don't need to be the star, and he's kind of like figuring that out in a way where it's the most important time to figure that out because their first year they were both still trying to score 30 and it wasn't working and they ran into problems in the playoffs and he's conserving more energy doing that. If you're passing the ball out of the post, you're not having to sit there and try to fight your way to get into position to get a good shot every single trip down the floor. You're running the screen and roll. We know that you can pick and pop. You're passing out of a double or you're passing to find the open guy and people are getting involved in the right way. It's putting him in a spot to where a lot of people thought it was him and Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, up until this year, really 2 years ago, had to be the guy
Yeah,
constantly.
he
Maxie was kind of
truthfully
unproven.
yeah, but still, truthfully, right now, that for the Sixers to be a true threat, I think they need Joel Embiid to be a like at his best version. Because Maxi,
Yeah.
I think Maxi is a great young player, but I don't think Maxi can backpack that team. I think he needs guys to go along for the ride, and unfortunately, playoff P is not it for them. And hey,
No.
good job, Clippers, because y'all thought he was, but moving past that, another question I have as far as it goes to the Knicks, anyways. Sorry, Cavs fan, if y'all are listening, but do you think that them getting rid of Tibbs, like I remember whenever they got rid of Tibbs last year, it was met with some people that were frustrated and didn't understand why they were moving on from Tibbs. And I can remember saying, like, man, Tibbs plays you to death. Like, you're a
Mhm.
good team, but by the time you get to the playoffs, bro, you have no legs and you get ran out of the gym. And they look, I mean, you want to play your best
His
ball in the playoffs,
rotation.
and yeah. I think this is
Rotation was like 7 to 8 guys, man.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
think they're on
right? I
a
mean,
Pacers run right now. That's what I'm seeing from them.
yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. And with Tibbs too, I mean, each starter is playing at least 40, each and every one of them. Hold on,
I don't know if
I'm
you saw
watching.
that. Brunson threw up
It's
that
on
air ball. I
YouTube.
was like, God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I,
coming from YouTube, but I
yeah.
mean, that's the biggest thing too. Is like if all your starters are playing 40, then you're kind of putting yourself in a spot. You're kind of handcuffing yourself. You know what I mean?
What the
Their legs
Spurs
are
is
gonna
running
wear
into.
out, and yeah, and with the Spurs too. Not trying to pivot from the point.
No, we can pivot. We can pivot. Obviously, it's still the first quarter. It's
Yeah,
still a close
yeah.
game right now.
But
But
no, I think the Tibbs thing it came at a good time because the only one that could actually do that in that on that team to me has always been Bridges and Josh Hart. if you're asking Cat to play 40 to 42 minutes, he's going to get tired because they're carrying more of the weight on the offensive side of the ball than,
Well,
Bridges or
yeah, but
OG,
I think
people like
Bridges.
that.
I think him playing that many minutes it hurts him offensively because he usually is having to guard one of the better wing players. So
Yep.
I think
Him and Josh. Yeah.
yeah, I think Tibbs that style. Like I mean, like he's a good coach, but I just don't think Tibbs has never been that guy that I'm like he's gonna put you over the hump. Tibbs is one of those guys that he can set the foundation, and then that's kind of it. You know what I mean? He's like that bridge guy.
Hmm.
But you kind of alluded to it. Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. We seen the Oklahoma City Thunder kind of take care of business yesterday in San Antonio to take a
Hmm.
2-1 lead against the San Antonio Spurs. What's your thoughts, man? Like you think? I mean, after game one, everybody thought the Spurs had it on lock, and brother, it looked like all it took is J
Well,
Dub to get hurt, and
yeah, and honestly, too, the biggest problem that the Spurs are going to have throughout this series, depending on how far it goes, is their inconsistent shooting. And I say that because Keldon Johnson's only going to put up 10 to 12 shots. Carter Bryant might get 3. Dylan Harper 12 to 15. And Luke Cornett is getting lobs and putbacks. So if you're looking at they're guys that are coming off the bench, right? If they're not hitting at a decent clip and Fox is struggling, Stephon Castle, he's one step away from being like a true consistent threat 3 levels. He's got to be able to hit his 3 pointers a little bit better. And then Wimby, depending on how many times he gets held, which he's been getting held the entire series, depending on how much he's playing inside and out, you need that consistent shooting, and they're not having it right now. I looked at the box score, and if I pull it up again, bro, you look at it and you're like, oh, so you mean to tell me that he shot 5 of 17 from the field, or Stephon Castle, which I think he shot 1 of 15
it
from the field.
wasn't good,
That
dog. It wasn't good. He was in foul
yeah,
trouble too, but Cameron said
yeah.
it perfect last week. Is and that's what I've been saying is their youth, their inexperience. They do some bonehead things. Castle's been turning the ball over way too much.
Like crazy.
Yeah, and it comes in bad times. I also think that I think they're getting out coached. I think they're at some point it worked in game one where you're sending doubles at SGA and there others aren't hitting shots besides Caruso in game one.
Hmm.
Everybody is hitting shots.
Yep.
Jay Will,
Hmm.
Caruso, Kaysen, McCain, Isaiah Joe, like Dort. People are
Yeah.
you have to play him straight up and make him score 100 points. You cannot.
Hmm.
They scored what 76 points off the bench last night. 76 out of like
Yeah.
123. That's crazy work, bro. There's no way that you're going to keep up with them like that. And I get it. Like you don't want Shea to go for 150. You're going to have to. Like there's a couple of things that I look at and I'm like, yeah, they're getting outplayed, they're getting out hustled, they're getting out physical, and they're just getting their asses busted because they went on a 15-0 run to start the game yesterday.
Yep.
Daignault was like, Case and Caruso get in and change the entire game. And they went in, and it was
Hmm.
immediately turnover, horrible shots by the Spurs, settle. And I hate to say it, like I have no idea how this series is going to turn out. And I'm speaking just on game two and game three. Wemby's getting pushed around. He's getting pushed around. He's getting manhandled. And it's not just by iHeart. Chet is bodying him up. Jay Will is
Yep.
they are keeping him from getting in the paint at all. And it looks like the Spurs, if they're not able to use him, it's over with. Castle's
Yeah.
inconsistent. They're
Hmm. And I like Stephon Castle's game, man. I really do. I think he is a true game changer. Now, last night he only had 1 turnover, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, but he was 1 of 8 from the field. That's you're you can't have one without the other. You need to be able to hit those shots. And I mean, if you're looking to Shane Pitty, 4 of 10. Wimby was 8 of 15. De'Aaron was 50%, 7 of 14. Vassell was 6 of 12. And then you look at the bench. 2 of 7, 2 of 3, 1
What
of
bench?
1, 1 of 3, 1 of 5, 1 of 1, 0 of 1.
What bench?
So, the Spurs bench.
No, I'm saying
They,
what bench? They don't exist, bro. Because
yeah, I
it's been
mean,
bad.
Dylan Harper coming off the bench, I think it messed with it. And of course, the nagging injury also plays into account with that. But whenever he was starting, the thing that he was doing differently was like attacking in a way, and his finishing around the rim is really good. But coming off of an injury, he only played 17 minutes last night. Like there, and he was a minus 13 overall. So not very useful. The Spurs bench in total, you got defensive guys and one true offensive threat in Harper coming off the bench. That's it. Keldon Johnson, yeah, he was 6 man of the year, but I think Mitch Johnson is running into this thing where he's trying to. It's like a chess match, and he's making his moves too quickly, and
He's
he's
not
not
staggering,
settling
right?
people
Yeah.
down.
And he's not staggering people. That's why I was pointing out the Daignault move. When they went 15-0, he was like, I'm not waiting. You think I'm going to let this game get
Yeah.
out of hand? And they went 15 up, and he sat Wemby and Fox. And it's like, bro, when you look at the Wemby.
You don't do that.
Yeah, when you look at the minus Wemby minutes, you have to stagger people who's going to get you buckets, and you're going to have to play Wemby with more bench guys than normal. Like you're going to have to play him with some of those dudes that are still on the court at the end of the first or into the second quarter, because you can't just sit both of them because your offense disappears. You're missing shots, and like you put those guys in, and normally they're good defensively. They're giving wide open shots because Shea is getting 95% of the attention. So he's just offensively, Caruso has hit maybe 2 shots this series
assists.
that I was like, right. But Caruso has hit like 2 shots, and I'm like, man, that dude is cooking. It's catch and shoot. Jared McCain has mostly been catch and shoot. Dort catching, like Kaysen, catch and shoot. Nobody is doing anything besides catch and shoot except iHeart's floater and Chet catching lobs. Their offense is not very complex. But when you're sending 2 or 3 people at SGA, for me, I'm like, bro, why you're getting your ass busted? Why would you continue doing it?
The thing that benefited them the most is they were trying to run the trap with a match zone. And the problem is when they would do that, their rotations were so bad that J. Will, Caruso, McCain were all having easy, clean corner 3 looks.
Corner 3.
And corner 3. That's all they were doing, man. And it's not like reinventing the wheel. It's just, okay, you want to completely take the MVP out of the game. Well, I have so much trust in my bench. Clearly, Mitch Johnson, you don't have trust in your bench with the players that you got. So I'm just going to let my dudes that do 3 and D the shit out of you.
And they are 3 and D,
and they're doing it. And they are doing it. They are doing it because J. Will was 5 of 6 from 3. Caruso 3 of 5. And then Kenrich Williams, Isaiah Joe, 1 of 1. Then you got Casey Wallace, 3 of 4. And then Jared McCain was 2 of 10. He was the worst shooting one. And to me, it's like, he was open. That's why he kept firing them up. Because he was open.
I get it because, the Thunder usually, they're one of those teams that they'll live and die by the 3-point line, and they were hotter than fish grease last night. But at some point in the playoffs,
why do they have that many
to,
open shots?
Yeah, because they're trying to trap the ball to get it out of his hands, and whenever Jared McCain gets the ball, it's either a quick shot or he's driving, and they're all in rotation because you're doubling at the top of the key. And the crazy thing is I think the reason that they're getting blown out like this is very easy whenever I watch it, like to simplify it just for me, right? The threes that they're giving up are the worst threes that you want to give up. You're giving up corner threes and top of the key threes. Those are the easiest threes that you can give up. And you're giving them up. Yeah. You're giving them up. And it's not, nobody is, like Shea's probably the only one who's hit step back threes. Everybody else is just catching that thing and shooting it. And
Yes.
they're not hard shots. They're making them, bro. That's what they're paid to do. Like, they're not doing anything
Yeah.
special. They're making you turn the ball over. They're turning the pressure up. They're getting physical. People can say, oh, they're having hard fouls. That's playoff basketball. Spurs, Pop would be losing his mind right now, calling people soft, calling them all kinds of pussies and stuff like that, because this is I like, since I've watched basketball, and obviously we grew up with the Admiral and Tim Duncan Spurs. They've never looked this soft. And they're getting pushed around.
Yeah.
Even the Duncan old era, when they were losing in the playoffs to KD, Russ, and James Harden, they weren't soft. This team is soft. The James Harden, KD, Russ Spurs, or Thunder team that was beating the Spurs, they were just out athleting and out skilling them. This team is pushing them around. The difference in this series has been physicality. And you can cry and complain, because I think some of those fouls were iffy. I think SGA pushes off with his off arm. That should be offensive foul all the time. They're not calling it, and he's pushing off and creating the contact, getting the separation, and then when you close that separation, he's shooting right into you. I think it's bullshit. I think it's annoying, but they're calling it. So you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, you're getting out physical. Somebody flop, fall. Shit, the Thunder are doing it all game. When Wemby's running up the court and there's contact, they're falling. Like, the Spurs they're so immature in the NBA terms that they don't know when to do certain things. They don't know when to chill out and just let it go. They don't know when to oversell a call to get the call like the Thunder do. The Thunder understand, if Wemby's coming down the court and I'm in the way, fall. At the worst, they don't call anything, and he gets a layup. But what if they call a charge? We get the ball back. So
which has happened.
Yes, and it's just crazy to me, bro. Like,
I will say overall, like, the holding of Wemby when he's trying to jump to try to fight for a rebound, I think that the refs got to do a slightly better job at that, because that's happened.
Thunder
in the
fans
entire
about to
series.
kill you.
I mean,
Thunder fans about to kill you. Because they're gonna be like SGA getting held every possession too. Why you ain't talking about SGA getting held?
He gets the call. He gets calls.
I was about to say
he gets calls.
I was about to say.
I think the only difference, I don't think it's like, ticky tack stuff, but if it's to the point where you see Hart literally pulling on his arm, that's something that needs to be called, because it's affecting position, it's affecting his opportunity.
And they said it. That's why he threw the elbow in the Minnesota series, is because that's how he gets guarded, because that's how you have to guard him, because he's so tall. And at some point you get frustrated with it. And like, we sat on here last week. Cam gave us his Thunder take of he doesn't understand how, like, Wemby didn't get suspended in the playoffs. And then I said, I don't understand how he didn't get fined. Did Ihart get fined for pulling Castle's hair? I didn't see shit.
He should have.
That should have been a fine. Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled the shit out of it. And that was on purpose.
And again, I'm not trying, like, low-key Thunder fans, like, I'm the wrong one to sit here and try to argue with, because I do not care. But if y'all are going to sit here and call and talk shit about Wemby and say Wemby's a crybaby and he's a flopper and all this other stuff, let's just call it straight down the line. Like, I'll sit here and say there's times where Wemby is flopping. I think he does. I think a lot of people do, and I'm going to call him out every single time. I don't care what team it is. Wemby, you're flopping. Luka, you flop. LeBron, you flop. Austin, you flop. Brunson, you flop. Joel Embiid, you flop. Harden, you flop. Like, everybody flops. Thunder fans, when people say that SGA and the rest of the Thunder crew flop, they do. So stop trying to defend it, because I'm not going to sit here and let you do it, because I'm watching it, right? That's number one. Number two, there's a difference between, there was a call last night that Thunder fans were upset about, and it was Kaysen got Wemby in the air, and then he tried to jump into him, and people are upset that they didn't call this a foul, and it's real easy why they didn't call it a foul, because Kaysen Wallace was not in a natural shooting position. He was literally shooting it's not a natural shooting position. You're wanting the ref to call a foul when he's initiating the contact. Okay, cool. Offensive foul. Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? I can't take this we're winning and we're just gonna cry type shit. Because I remember last series against the Lakers, it was all Lakers are crying, Lakers are this, and now I'm listening to a bunch of Thunder fans crying about the y'all just want Wemby. It's the United States Spurs versus the OKC Thunder.
Yeah,
First
I
off,
cannot stand that,
and I'm
man.
gonna say this with my whole chest. 95% of y'all can't beat me in basketball, and I ain't really hooped in a long time. 90% of y'all can't dribble with both hands. Y'all are trash. So let's not sit here and talk like y'all are good at basketball. Y'all are fans of a team. Okay? So let's set that right there. The second part is y'all are just as big crybabies. Dagnall has been crying. Caruso's crying. iHeart's crying. Like, y'all are crying just as much as everybody else. There is no agenda to push SGA. There's no agenda to push SGA out. That same agenda that's happening right now on Twitter and all kinds of other social medias on ESPN and stuff, it has always been done. LeBron got called a flopper. Luka gets called a flopper. Joel Embiid gets called a flopper. James Harden was called a flopper. KD was called a flopper. Paul Pierce, Hedo Turkoglu, T-Mac, Kobe, like they're all called floppers. Y'all are just too soft and don't know the history of basketball that y'all truthfully believe that SGA is the only person that's ever had this happen to him. He's not. Stop crying. I'm sick of
I
it.
think people forget about the KD rip through that was part of the Oklahoma City
I
Thunder
I hate this
run.
I hate this narrative that people are setting a narrative that they're discrediting SGA and the Thunder because they're just jealous. Again, it gets back. Why would I be jealous of 95% of y'all when y'all suck at basketball? There's nothing to be jealous about. I actually like the Oklahoma City team. I just don't like the fans, bro. The fans are the reason I could never be a Thunder fan. Because, again, none of y'all know basketball. None of y'all play basketball. And y'all just say some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life when it comes to basketball. Everybody's a critic. Nobody wants to have an actual genuine conversation about basketball. Everybody wants to have their bias goggles on. No, there's no Wemby flops. Does Shea flop? No, he's just good at getting foul calls. He wasn't number one in the league at free throws. Okay, well then why is he the only person in the last 2 years to be in the top 3 of free throw attempts? Exactly. Well, the Thunder team, they don't average more. Nobody's talking about the Thunder team, bro. They're talking about one player. I would hope that one player is not averaging more free throws than most teams in the NBA. So it's just that I'm sorry for a rant, but bro, it's so annoying, dog.
I love the biggest blessing and the biggest curse of being in the state that we live in whenever any team that people typically root for have success is you're going to see a lot of e- extremely biased and sometimes ignorant takes and ignorant you know ideas as far as what the league is or what any team that is having success at. Call it for what it is. Wimby gets held. Call it for what it is. iHeart grabbed his hair on purpose. Call it for what it is. There was a literal graphic last night on SGA, um, and like just scoring, right? Just hitting his middies every single time. This man left his feet in some form or another. A brush up caused him to fall. I mean, why do you think that is? Whenever you've seen other people take jumpers, contested jumpers, and you don't see them fall. It's because he's playing to the game. He's playing to have success and get to the free throw line. We've seen it with other stars in the league before. Like I said, the KD rip through, the Harden
Rip
rip
through.
through, the Steph leg kick. Steph did it, but people don't want to admit it. He did that. Jamal Crawford did the same thing. Bro. Like
Reggie
it happens.
Miller.
It's taking advantage of
The
the
rules.
officiating
Yes.
to benefit you with certain things that get called and certain things that don't get called. And if you want to be a purist in basketball, be like, that's not how you're supposed to play the game. I understand that. However, that's how the ref is calling it. And at the end of the day, you don't want the ref to completely dictate the outcome. But at the same time, if you're the Spurs, you got to hit your shots.
Yes. None of it matters if
End
they
of
hit
the
their
day.
shot.
Exactly, bro.
Last
There's
thing,
nothing.
I have to say on the Thunder fans is like, it's very easy for me to hear and understand what's happening with them because 95%, like, I ain't even gonna say a number. Most Thunder fans aren't basketball fans or NBA fans. They're just Thunder fans. So I expect them to not understand that the narrative that they're saying about SGA, that he's a flopper and a foul merchant, they think that it really is just happening right now, when in all actuality, it's always happened in basketball. The problem is they don't know that because they've never paid attention to the NBA. We got a team. Oh, we're a root for. Oh.
Here's the biggest thing: the same people that hated what James Harden did, hated it, despised it, couldn't stand it, got him an MVP, are the same people that are being like, no, no, no. I mean, the disparity, like, there. Yeah, I mean, SGA gets to the line, but it's because they're fouling him, and they're not even number one in the league in free throw attempts. If it was really that big of an issue about the whistle, they would be number one. No, if you have one individual player trying to take advantage of officiating, then that number's only going to benefit him. And two, you don't have other people being aggressive, getting to the rack the way that he does. You don't have other people on the team getting to that mid-range spot where a contest looks a little different. There's a lot of intricacies that go into it. So I don't like the bias, and I love the fact that we live in a state where people are diehard to that degree. But also, don't cripple yourself with understanding the knowledge of the game and putting yourself in a position to look stupid,
They
because that's how people
Yeah,
look.
but they don't think they look
It's
stupid because they're just biased. It's that's what makes it so
yeah,
much more infuriating, is that they
hmm
don't think that they look dumb because that's truthfully what they believe. They really believe that the league is out to get the Thunder, and it's like, how? If they were truthfully out to get them, they would have made sure that it was 3-0 right now. They're not doing it. They would have made
we're
sure
the
that
forty
Holly didn't care.
seventh. Yeah, we're the 47th largest market in the U.S. 47th. If it was really OKC versus the world versus the San Antonio world, do you think that they would really push the narrative for the Thunder to be the face of the league?
No, what it
No.
is, what like truthfully, what it is they can't take criticism of something. When they hear criticism, instead of them being like, "Nah, he does do it. He does flop. He does fall a lot.
Yeah.
He does that," but he's still cold. Like, yep, that's it. That's all we
Yeah.
want. He's still the best
Game
in the game.
recognized
Yeah,
game.
he's still the best in the league, baby. But he just, we see it, bro. It's hard.
It
At
is what
times
it
it
is.
gets hard to watch because it leads to the third quarter of last night where it's an hour and 15 minutes long because there's a lot of free throws. Homie shot what, 14
Yeah.
free throws or 13 free throws in the second half. That's too many. But um,
Yeah.
other moving on, because again, bro, I'm well. Next question about the Western
Got you.
Conference
Yeah.
Finals. Like,
hmm
what are you expecting in Game 4?
I think because Mitch Johnson is not the type of coach. His coaching style is not like Daigneault's, right? You see Daigneault, he never yells at players. I think they're a very tight knit group. Nobody needs to yell at anybody. Everybody just plays within the game. I think for him, he's cut from the pop cloth, and you see that because he will yell at players while the game is going on. How do you reach them is the biggest thing. They're all fairly young outside of maybe two or three vets, right? You're looking at De'Aaron Fox because he's going to start, and you got to look at Harrison
Well,
Barnes.
he retweaked
Harrison
his
Barnes
ankle.
ain't getting those
Is he
minutes.
playing?
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw earlier that he was in for game 4. So how do you get your guys to connect, and how do you get your guys to just play the game and also be encouraging to them and get people involved to where they can feel the rhythm of the game and get those shots? Because I'm looking when you look at the shot chart, it's like, oh, could you have found a better shot? And I didn't really have a chance to watch a lot of the game, just because I was at that graduation. But I caught the end of the third. I mean, the end of the third and the fourth quarter, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, they're just getting ran out of their spots. The shot clock's getting down to 4 seconds. Now they can't really get in the flow. The ball isn't moving the way that it needs to move, and they can't get a good shot, and they rush break. So how do you incorporate better ball movement?
better ball movement and
That's
better
my biggest.
get. They have to stop running their offense at half court because that's what the Thunder want.
Yeah,
They have to
they gotta
initiate the
run.
offense closer. Yeah, and they have to initiate the offense closer to the 3-point line to pressure them. Because when you have the ball out at half court, I think it was Steve Nash on a podcast, and he was like, the way that they're officiating is not hard to see. Until you cross the free throw line, they're allowing hand checking, bro. They're allowing it
Oh
all.
yeah,
Once you get closer to the free throw line, that's when they're hammering down on hand checking and things like that, because that's when people are starting to gather. So the closer you can get there, the better that you'll get a whistle and the more that you can get the Thunder in foul trouble. But again, if you're going to initiate your offense that at the line, bro, they're allowing them
yeah,
to play Thunder
yeah,
basketball.
yeah. Which is aggressive, jumping past in lanes, getting physical, way out. And the further out you are from the basket, the harder it is for you to get a decent pass to get the ball moving. Which, when Castle was bringing the ball up, that's why he had 11 turnovers in the first game. He
I can't
he's
believe they won that, bro.
yeah, he's already in a back down position with literally the ball almost hitting the half court line. So when you're trying to make a pass because you're getting bumped by Caruso 40 feet from the basket and you try to throw a skip pass, all they're gonna do is jump the passing lane. And I know that they know that they're professionals, but how do you be more aggressive on your end, use that over aggression against them, maybe try to get to the rack. Say fuck it, try to get to the rack. Drive and kick. Or because also when you're running a high screen, Wimby's gonna do one or two things. He's gonna screen and it's a pick and pop, or he's gonna screen and try to roll and they already got two bodies going at him.
2 or
So
3.
what do? You throw to the corner and the rotation, the dude that was just guarding you, whenever you throw it to Wimby going to the post, he's running to the corner. Or they're the way that the Thunder move within the defensive side of the ball,
Oh my
their
god.
rotations are so their rotations are so crisp that they literally put themselves in a position to like always be in position to guard
Yeah.
somebody.
Well, I think
They don't really have.
no,
Oh no, go
no,
ahead.
I was gonna say you're 100% right, but I also think it's just the Spurs missing shots. They're they're getting decent looks. They're just not falling, bro. Like they go on long spurts of just not scoring, and the Thunder are busting that ass. They have to. You can't turn the ball over, and you have to be able to score. I think they're not getting to the lane. I think Castle's about it. Like they're and then also shout out to Alex Caruso, shout out to Josh Hart, Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka. Y'all got to see me. Both of y'all got to see me because y'all had them both. You had them, and those are championship DNA players. You had Josh Hart and Alex
Mhm.
Caruso on the same team, and you ain't got either one of them. Why?
It- It's very interesting to see, Marlon. I just finished up the Hulu documentary, the 10-parter about the Lakers and the
There's a
legacy and
10.
everything. And it's
I ain't seen it. It's on
yeah,
Hulu.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
boy,
It's on
I'm
Hulu.
gonna have to watch
It's
that.
10 episodes. I think it came out like a year ago, two
I think
years ago.
KG
I want to say.
was talking to me about it. I just haven't had a chance to, but I'm shit.
I just watched it, and a lot of the family turmoil is brought up in there, and a lot of the inequities of Jim Buss is in there, which is very interesting to see because man, he sold y'all.
Nah,
He
hell no.
put y'all.
Hey,
He put y'all in the.
listen. He did, but looking back on it, when you see, first
Uh,
off, the bubble championship doesn't happen without him. People can say whatever. You are not trading for Anthony Davis without those picks that he was able to get for those players. Kuzma, Lonzo,
them sucking
D'Angelo,
ass
Julius Rand.
for
Like, but
3
just
years.
think about when you look at it. Like the reason, in my opinion, right? I can be wrong or whatever. This is just my opinion. I think the reason that people didn't like Jim is because he was doing it a way that's not normal for the Lakers. But for a team like Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City Thunder, That was perfect.
Yeah.
I think they were a
Yeah.
star away. But you, brother, think about what's like. You have Lonzo, who's a solid like role player, right? You have Josh Hart and Alex Caruso, who are both championship DNA players. You have Kuzma, who I mean, we see hot and cold. Brandon Ingram, who's turned into a very good NBA player. You have Julius Randle, who turned into a very good NBA player. You have Zubac, who's turned into a very good NBA player.
That to this day still blows my mind that y'all got rid of Zubac because
Magic.
I remember watching him. I remember watching him with the Lakers, and I was like,
him and Bron had
"Oh,
some chemistry that when I'll say this, when that trade went through, you know the homies that I text Lakers with, we were all done. We were like, what the what?
I was like, why would you trade him? He's your starting center, and he's getting like 16 and 12 a night,
all night, every night,
and what cooking people,
and
they would let him work in the post,
bruh. But yeah, I think truthfully, I think the Jim Buss stuff, he gets a lot of hate because he wasn't bringing a superstar to the Lakers, and usually that's what they do is they bring a superstar. They brought Kareem, they brought Wilt, they brought Shaq, they brought LeBron, they brought Anthony Davis, and sometimes they create the Magics and the Kobes. Jim was trying to create, and like I said, I think people were they were too impatient, and that impatience is why that window shut as fast as it did. And that's why the patience that teams like the Thunder had, the teams like Golden State had when they put theirs together, that's why their window was open as long as it was. That's just...
and Magic doing what he did, there is actually really good because Jeanie Buss was like, well, he's done this before whenever he wanted to trade back in 1981 because he didn't like the coaching.
And he asked for a trade.
Which he is in this documentary. It doesn't ruin it for you, but he's in this documentary talking about, oh yeah, Luke Walton didn't have it. I wanted to fire him, and other people didn't want me to yet. So that's when I knew I had to go because basketball minds were trying to tell me what I needed to do as president. And I'm like, you've never been good running an organization. You've never been good coaching. You are one of the greatest players in NBA history. But just because sometimes, respectfully, just because you played does not mean that you know truly how to do everything that it takes to run an organization. Jerry West is one of the greatest GMs of all time. Jerry West was also putting in the work. Magic would just do the eye test.
Magic was
Jerry
Magic,
West
yeah.
was going on scouting trips.
Yes,
Yeah.
Magic was...
Jerry West was flying all over.
So we get back to it. Who traded Zubac? Magic. You want to know why people, especially some Lakers fans or Bron fans, why they just crap on the Lakers front office, which don't get me wrong, they deserve it. Like I just said, Rob and Jeanie, y'all got to see me, but because he was able to bring Bron, bro, it wasn't that hard of a pitch. We're LA, Bron. Most great players come to LA. Don't you want to move your family out to California and get out here and that was it.
At the time, what else would have helped him in Cleveland? If he would have went back to Cleveland, one, who you got with you? That's the biggest thing. Kyrie's gone. Kevin Love is always going through injuries. And now you're in the business of doing what the Lakers were doing since Bron has joined the Lakers. I'm going to sign this guy who was really good 5 to 6 years ago and hope that it works out.
You touched my soul because that's the truth, bro. We're gonna bring in DeAndre. Yep, that's what it worked in Miami and it worked in Cleveland, and they tried to replicate it in LA, and this shit didn't work. We have 2 or 3 stars, and we want to surround them by a bunch of what if? Do they have something left in the tank? And the dudes that they were, it just don't work. It worked. That 2020 team, people can put the asterisk on it because it was the bubble. They had, JaVale McGee. You have Rondo. Yeah. You have, they still had the youth. You still have Alex Caruso.
Make him dance.
No. He was gone. He had just wanted him, but he was gone. But they ended up picking up Dion Waiters, and they picked up J.R. Smith too, they barely played Dwight. Dwight came the year after. No, he was there. Yeah, he was there. Yeah. See, but they got like they got guys that actually could play and whatnot, but they're reaching now on the like. I don't think it was ever like, could Rondo still play? Can Dwight still play? It was just like, they can't be the man. That's different than, can this dude play? Like DeAndre Ayton, it was, can he play? And they were like, oh, we're the Lakers, bro. We got LeBron, Luka, and Austin. And it's just like, yeah, he's trash. Man, they trying to make me Clint Capella. Yeah, because that's the only way that you're staying in the league, bro.
Yeah, man. I think it's very interesting to see that. I mean, I know your boys got swept and stuff, but watching that documentary, you look at the dysfunction of organizations in a different light, because you go, oh, so no, Kobe hated Del Harris like a lot, and so did Nick Van Axel, and that's why it didn't work. They had the talent. Shaq, Kobe, Nick, La Junta, Eddie Jones was on the team.
La Junta, Eddie Jones
was on the team, and you're like, oh, it didn't work because Nick Van Axel hated Del Harris.
Yeah, they all hated Del Harris. Del Harris was Del Harris was the Thibodeau. He was the like, we're gonna play this my way. Young players don't play blah, and it's like, you don't want to win, bro.
And Kobe was seen as being really selfish early on in his career, which is accurate. For the most part, it's really cool to see. I mean, if you get it's 10 episodes.
I'll watch it, bro. So I'll watch 10 episodes of that, and then if they release another OJ documentary that's 15, I'm gonna watch it. And did you see? Did you see real quick? There's an MJ documentary coming about his case, unless I was tricked on Twitter, which that's
yes. No, you're not tripping. That's coming out. I think that's coming out
crazy after the biopic. After the biopic. Come on, bro.
Yeah, well, and I have you seen the movie?
I have
you
not.
seen the Michael movie? Okay, so it is.
I heard it stops.
1,000% gonna. Yeah, it's gonna lead into a sequel, and Elisa, my wife, looked it up, and it is confirmed that they will have a sequel. Crazy timing coming out with the documentary about the court case. Trying to like get people divided. I think it's a very divisive thing to do, because they knew when that fucking movie was gonna drop, and now they're coming out with a documentary.
I'm curious to see though how the stance of it, right? Because if they're like Netflix really controls they control the narrative of it. So if they
do a good job of reporting facts.
Right, but I'm saying like if they push the narrative of like Michael didn't do it, and that it's like the music labels that are trying to take MJ down, I think it'll be perfect for the sequel. I think the sequel will come out and just cook. But yeah, they could also come out and do what they did to OJ and be like, nah, he did it. Which again is crazy. He definitely did that shit.
Well, I think universally speaking, especially since Mark Furman died, and they could really talk about this stuff wherever they ended up going. Is with
they're down there with the let me tell you something, dude. I'm the Hulkster, and I'm here in hell. I'm here to get you in here with me, brother. And I'm just telling you, with these 42-inch pythons, brother.
42-inch pythons. You know what's, bro? There's that dude that I sent you on Instagram that does all the Hulk Hogan lines. I don't know if I sent this one in particular to you, but there was one. He was like, I got on the phone and I told him, brother, you got to pull this Bronco over.
I mean, Hogan, who caps more Hulk? Well, he can't no more, but who caps more?
LeBron and Hulk Hogan are the biggest.
They get on a cap off, bro. It's crazy. Something told me, man, he gonna score 70, and he got to 70. I was like, he gonna get 80. I'm like, bro, stop it, bro. Stop it.
Is when
they called him out for reading the Malcolm X book. It was like, what's your favorite?
He was reading it upside down.
He said, what's your favorite part? Because you know LeBron, when he answers like that, he does and that's what they teach you to do. But like, you're a PR team, but they'll be like, he's like, you know, the whole thing. I could, yeah, like, bro, if you don't stop. Or when LeBron gets on and he be trying to sing and the lyrics is wrong. I think the homie said,
and it's even night and damn and
but bruh, look, dude, I could have been a professional rock star if I wanted to, dude. But brother, I was like, there's just something about this wrestling, brother.
They wanted me to be the lead
Yeah,
bass in Metallica, brother.
I,
I'm not.
I wrote Simple Man by Skinner, dude.
Bro, that dude, I'm telling you, I gotta find the one where he was like, I got on the phone. I said, you gotta pull over this Bronco, brother.
You know it's the truth. You
But
know it's the
I
truth.
mean, give back to it. That Michael documentary, from what I've seen, it looks like, because Netflix does a really good job of like pointing out the bias of people. So it's interviewing people that are on either side of Michael Jackson's court case. You got his, like, they always are gonna have the DA on there. They're always gonna have his defense lawyer, and then character witnesses on both sides. So I hope they tell it in a good light. Oh, I saw you
No, no, no,
guys
no,
the
no.
thing, but
I happened to open Twitter, and the first tweet that I seen, and I was like, is it's a list of 4 rappers. Is Dot, which is gonna lead me into the next question I was gonna ask you, but first is Dot,
it's beautiful.
Drake, Cole, and Ye, and it said which
Mhm.
out of these 4 has to be removed, and Le'Veon Bell said, "Oh, this is easy. It has to be Cole because the other 3 don't create a song and then like remove it and act like it didn't happen." Like, but in that point, one of them
Yeah.
does sue, and that was going to be
Mhm.
one of my questions for today. Is
Yes.
were you able to listen to Iceman? I don't give a shit about the other 2 because I'm not listening to them. Were you able to listen to Iceman, and what's your thoughts?
All right, so we had plenty of time to listen to Iceman. The day it came out was the day that we were heading down to Dallas for the comedy show, and I was, you know, uh, I was excited in the sense of how this album has been promoted. It gets the people engaged in it, and I'm gonna be honest with you. And my wife felt the same way. She was like, "He's just like sad, and he thinks everybody hates him."
Yeah, no, it's
I mean, there's some, I mean, there's some bops with it. But I watched this guy that's on YouTube that does album reviews, and of course everybody has their own biases. But what he does is he breaks things down on a more analytical level, like not just surface value. I'm a fan. I'm gonna like everything he puts out. He is slightly biased, but I like his knowledge of music and how beats are created and the structure of songs. So one of the things that he points out is he was like, can Drake get through one song and keep the concept the same without doing a fucking beat switch?
he can't.
How many songs on that record had a beat switch that you're like, you were locked into this one, the flow was good on this one, you're building momentum, and then beat switch. He's
You know
just
that Drake stands try to make it seem like he's the one who invented beat switches, right? I
no.
promise you.
That's Travis
It was way
Scott,
before that,
who
bro.
is
That shit was happening in
it
the
was
80s
before
and
that, but
90s, but like
Travis
recently,
Scott
Travis
was the
Scott,
one
yeah.
that, yeah, he brought the resurgence in it, in the sense
People were
of
bringing it up
his
in
beat
people were
switches.
bringing it up in Family Matters, like Kendrick didn't switch the beats on Euphoria, but that's for a different day.
Yeah, like, wait, who are we? You know what I mean? But I mean, overall, the sneak disses, it's like, no, say Kendrick, I don't like you. Fuck you. You're short. ASAP Rocky, I hate you too. Rick Ross, I hate you. You're fat. Like, just I would rather you do that than be like, I forgot what line he used, bro. When he was talking about LeBron, it's like, come on, man.
Look, and again, I'm not going to sit here and cap on LeBron. We was just talking about him, but bro, you can talk all the shit you want to about LeBron James. You had another man tattooed on you. If that's your thing, cool. Not hating on you, but like you can talk reckless as you want and say that he's fake and he's all this. Doesn't that make you blind because you had homie tattooed on you? At what?
Yeah.
I think my biggest problem with Drake, not the album, but with Drake is self accountability, bro. You're 38, 39. At some point, it's not everybody else's fault. Now, the people that are always gonna say that this is a bop when Drake puts stuff out and it's the greatest, those are the people that don't like to have any self accountability. Those are the people that love you calling. Those are the people at 46 years old will be on Facebook beefing with somebody over something that has nothing to do with anything. because they
Yeah.
just want that Jerry Springer vibe. Like I said, I listen to Iceman, and like you said, he has some bops on it, but it started sounding like Certified Lover Boy to me. And that's no, there's
Well,
no disrespect, because I the Certified Lover Boy album was solid, but like it's one of those where it's
mhm.
like, what are we? How are we comparing this? Right? Are we comparing this as he's one of the better rappers of his generation? If that's the case, this is not great. It's good.
It becomes a rinse and repeat.
Yes,
You know what I
that's
mean? Like you'll have a couple on there. Overall structure, it's not anything that we haven't heard before. Is how you adapt to the game and how you navigate it with everything that's happened. Because, brother, I told him, brother, I said you got to pull out of this beef because
bro.
Kendrick's whooping you, brother.
You know, right? You know what like what it reminds me of, in it's just like Drake and how he is, because we've been listening to Drake for a long time. And like I said, I think I just
Hmm.
outgrew Drake's music. It's nothing against him. Like I just outgrew trying to. It's like Drake reminds me of the dude who's 36 years old and still lives in his hometown and goes to high school parties. But Drake's latest albums, they just remind me of Madden. It's the same thing with like one or two different things. One or two things that's updated to what they want. We're going to put Saquon Barkley jumping over somebody backwards, but everything else is going to be the exact same as the year before. That's what Drake's albums have
Man
been.
hasn't been the same since the invention of the hit stick.
And you can
That was
say,
the last big
and you can
thing.
say Drake has been the same since like nothing was the same. That's
Oh.
like nothing was the same. If you're reading this, it's too late. Around that era, everything has been the
Yeah.
same, and so it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's just Madden to me,
And
and
I,
there's no disrespect, because I can play Madden, but I'm not going to play Madden the way that I used to play Madden back in the day,
hmm
because I'm over it,
Yep.
bro. It's over. Like it's the same thing. That's why I don't play 2K the way I used to, because it's the same thing. I can look back on older 2K games and say, of its time, those were fantastic. But right now, 2K is
hmm
rinse and repeat, and that's Drake albums, and that's why you have people who love Dot, who love Cole, who, because their projects sound different. That's why they don't drop all the time. It's not a secret. They don't drop all the time because they're actually being creative and giving you a different sound. Good Kid, Mad City doesn't sound like Damn, doesn't sound like To Pimp a Butterfly, doesn't sound like GNX, doesn't sound like none of that shit. So it's just different. And again, people, you're gonna like the music that you like, and I rock with it, right? Like I'm not saying that it's a bad album. What I am saying is this isn't an album that a GOAT or somebody that I consider is one of the best can drop and me think that it's that damn good. It's really not. Like people are just, oh, if you look at where it's at on Spotify, and but bruh, you know Miles has the whole world doing the Sea Lion. I don't think that nigga is a good rapper, bro. He's not. So like miss me with these streaming numbers and all this other, oh, he got the world on
Yeah.
lock. You know Miles has all the little kids doing
Well,
the Sea Lion, bro.
well, here's the biggest thing too. If you look at it, he dropped, and there's speculation if it was to get out of the contract with the UMG, the label that he sued, the label that allowed him to own all of his own masters because they're part of Columbia, and so is TDE, and that is the problem, and that's why he wanted to sue him for like whatever the case may be, and he lost the lawsuit. However, the speculation of him dropping 3 albums is to get out of the deal. But your numbers will look great if you drop 43 songs within 18 hours. People are gonna be interested to see what you have to say. You are one of the biggest artists in the world, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with what you did, but I don't like people using that as a, well, look at his numbers, that's why he's the go. It's like,
I got
no,
something for you, bro.
if motherfucker. Mhm.
And Riverside, hopefully you clip this for me to make it easy, right? You remember when GNX came out and how all that stuff happened, right? People were saying like Dot's
Yeah.
numbers are influenced because of the beef. And Drake even said it on the
Mm.
album. The only like you got your little
Yeah.
shit off, blah blah blah, because you was using Du Bois' name, right? What do you think these albums rolled out high as they did? Because people were interested in hearing how you felt after the beef. That's why,
2 years
dog.
later.
That's why. It has nothing to like you again, you're Drake. You could drop you drop the what Party Next Door stuff. And people were high on it and that shit was trash. It was trash. It was trash. Like it's the thing that people have to understand when you're talking about Drake is Drake. We're talking about Drake as a rapper, not as an artist. Stop mixing the conversations. I'm not people saying Drake's the biggest artist. Taylor Swift is a bigger artist. Let's have that argument. Taylor Swift is a bigger artist than Drake. People don't want to have that conversation. Taylor Swift makes better music than Drake. Let's have that conversation because y'all want to talk about artistry. But if you want to talk about just primarily rap, there is no universe that he is better than Dot. There's no universe that he is better than J. Cole. And if you want to get on an album and tell people, I'm not suing somebody because I lost a rap beef, why did you wait so long to sue him? Why did you wait until you got smashed? And then last point, and then I'm going to give you the mic, Isaiah, is this is a Jake Paul type thing, right? If Jake Paul came out 2028 and he says, I want to fight Anthony Joshua again, would you care? No, because you know Anthony Joshua just mopped the floor up. Why do I care about Drake talking about a beef that happened 2 years ago and Dot just mopped the floor up with him? I don't. I just think it's a publicity stunt for you to just act like you didn't just get knocked out on Netflix. That's what happened, bro.
Yeah. And you pointed it out perfectly. Taylor Swift is a bigger artist than Drake universally. If Rihanna wanted to drop more music right now, she would be recognized as a bigger artist, but she's literally grown an entire fashion and makeup industry over the past 10 years, and that's probably why she hasn't dropped nothing. Who knows if she'll ever do it again? But that being said, you're big right now because rap isn't looked at as the same as it was to people 10 years ago, right? Rap is not looked at the same. You can argue that rap now is got the lowest numbers that it's ever had because people are now getting back into the underground scene of rap. The mainstream rappers aren't pulling the same numbers. And so if you're essentially looking at a guy that's a titan in his success with sales and streaming, it's Drake. So that's what the people are used to. That's what the people know about. So that's why they're gonna run back to that. Kendrick Lamar has been in the game longer. He started rapping straight out of high school in like 2007. Drake didn't start rapping until like 2009, 2008. But his time in the game was a little more, I guess, struggle sensed. But even the path that he took, people didn't. Some people didn't even know who Kendrick Lamar was, and all they knew was swimming pools and uh,
Poetic justice.
Poetic Justice and the Black Panther soundtrack. However, the beef it elevated him to show people that he was a better rapper. The people that the
And
commons,
yeah,
the common
yes, the
fans that
casuals.
love Drake.
Yes, because
Yes,
we knew
that's all it did.
we talked about this shit back in 20. That's what kills me is like there was conversations happening
Mhm.
in like 2012 that was like if after the Control verse dropped when Drake was
Yeah.
I mean if you see me in public when everybody else was just they understood that he was just talking about like competition. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you. Like that's all it was. It was not a I don't mess with you type. It was just I'm I'm trying to raise the bar high. Who trying to jump and get it? That was it. And the
Mhm.
only person that
Yep.
took it as like, oh, you not my man's no more was Drake.
Yeah.
Right? Dot and Cole were
You know,
still cool.
everybody
Mac
else-
was cool with like everybody else was cool with him.
Everybody else went platinum
Yes,
after that.
because his
I think
competition
it elevated everybody else's
it
game.
elevated rap and it's just it's crazy like I said we were having those conversations back then and it's crazy that it took this long to understand it I also think like with the whole Drake and Dot thing it's the same thing I was talking about Thunder fans like they don't know the history of the NBA but they act like they do because their favorite team right now is on top. That's what Drake fans do is they you could ask some other Drake fan like what's the first album you listened to? Oh, Take Care. All right, bro. Do you listen to any old rap? No, bro, this shit's trash. You don't know what you're talking about then. You don't. There's people that wrote their own, like, you can look at it, Hove. You can look at, like, you know what I'm saying? Wu Tang as a whole. Biggie, which he has
Yeah.
some sus rhymes, like Pac, Q,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
all, you can look at, go
Mhm.
back. And then you can find other dudes like Wale, Big Sean, who have lyrics just like Drake. The problem is their rollout wasn't like Drake. People don't want to talk about Drake's rollout. Homie was a Nickelodeon star, right? So people already knew who he was to the casual fans because that generation grew up watching him on Nickelodeon. So you already have his name in your head. Then you pair him with the rapper who many still consider to have the greatest run of all time in a 7 to 8 year span in Wayne. And then you
Mhm.
have Wayne, who's at the top, roll him out. That's, you're starting up here, my guy. Everybody else is starting down here. And that's not to say that you didn't improve as an artist and stuff. I'm just saying, as far as the numbers go, your numbers were always going to be higher than everybody's because of how you were rolled out. It doesn't mean that you're better. It doesn't.
And you got to think of the difference in the money. The money of the deal that he signed with Cash Money, who was backed by Universal Music Group, that had the money to put into him, because at one point he was just hopping on Wayne tracks and hopping on Birdman albums. So he was getting his name out there that way. Even the YMCMB Collective album. All those things are just allowing him to keep striving and reaching. Meanwhile, Kendrick was on 2 mixtapes and dropped a solo album with TDE. Just his group, just the Black Hippie group. You know what I mean? It's different. Whenever there's more money involved, sometimes people can saturate the market and get shoved down your
And
ears
he did.
because that they got the money to do it. They got the money for the radio play at the time whenever that was still a means of making money. You could pay a DJ to keep playing your tracks. That's the inception of popularity for people. Now it's, I can just get on my phone and listen to what I want to listen
Facts.
to. It's completely different. If you come in with that bias, it's not gonna open your ears to other
And then
artists.
you
So
also have like people talk about bots all the time. I don't understand why people don't understand that people can actually be bots if you just look at it that way. When Drake gets ready to roll out an album, he has academics, he has Maul, he has Aiden Ross, he has all of
Aiden
these
Raw,
dudes who are getting people prepped and stuff and giving him a massive rollout, as to where artists like Kendrick are just dropping, bro. It's dropping. So it's like, you have bots. I ain't got no bots. You have them. Ack, Aiden Ross, and Maul are all bots. They are publicly glazing you. Publicly, no matter what. You didn't lose the beef to none of them. You lost. We just grew up in an era
yeah,
where people don't know how to take a loss and get better. Everybody just makes excuses and now it's accepted. 10, 15 years ago in hip hop, people would have publicly came out and shit on him. Oh, no, bro, you can't do this shit no more because you can't publicly take a loss. Like, it's crazy. And when you see who he surrounds himself by, like, this is no disrespect, but this is just who he is as a person. Kevin Durant, I shitty person. Like, you dig what I'm saying? Johnny Manziel, shitty person. Like, these are people with problems.
oh, he's
I
fighting
know, but
today. Did
yeah, I
you
did.
know
But these are people with problems,
that?
bro. These are people that had drug problems and gambling problems and money problems, the same problems that Drake has. The difference is they're not ever gonna tell you, like a real friend should, hey, bro, you fucking up. That what they're gonna do is they're gonna let you keep doing it because they're still doing it. So you look at it as it's
Mhm.
love. It's not love, bro. They're letting you tear yourself apart. And because you have all these fans who are 13, 14, 15 years old who don't know anything about the history of hip hop, because all they know, which is getting played on the radio, when they open Spotify, it's right in their face. And then you have a bunch of streamers who are, oh, Drake, 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 Drake. That's all they know. When you start actually having the conversation with people that listen to it and have been fans of it, their whole opinion is different. And that's why you have
The
people.
biggest things is songs are getting more popular now, getting played in videos on as TikToks and Instagram reels than they are just purely off of the radio. Do you know I'm gonna say this one time. Do you know the movement that happened when Day and Night, a song like Day and Night came out? Right. Everybody was playing it, and it was only because you heard it on the radio. It wasn't in some TikTok. It was on somebody's MySpace page. It was the new age of hearing music, but it still had an old school feel to it. Right now, Marlon, there's only a few songs that'll get me out of my seat, and one of them is the International Players Anthem. Okay, could you imagine if we see some fucking 12-year-old now starting to do a TikTok dance to International Players Anthem? That would make me so goddamn mad. And that it would be debuted like it was a new song, and oh, it's trending now. We'd live that shit, okay? Circa 2007. Look, when Three Stacks got on the track, it was like church. Everybody was paying attention. We were worshiping. All right. It's the way that music is consumed now versus how it was consumed in the old days. And maybe I'm just sounding like what kids call a boomer, but
Nah, bro, you just on.
I'm a millennial. We're just unking it. I mean, it just it puts you in a different spot to be like, yeah, that song's shit. But if a kid puts it on their TikTok, everybody's going to be
Yes,
listening to it, even though they're only listening to it for the 30 seconds of whatever.
yeah,
Their TikTok
but I'm grown enough now to admit my own faults and to look at something and be like, bro, when I was little, I thought it's peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. I thought that shit was fire. It's fucking trash. So all the kids right now that like Drake and they're talking about Drake, that it's when you get 35 years old, you're gonna be like, man, that shit was trash. Oh, but back then it was a classic. It was a classic. It was not a classic, bro. Do you know what a classic is? A classic is something like Gin and Juice, where fucking 35 years in the fucking future, if you hear Gin and Juice play at the mall, everybody's like, oh! Drake has some songs like that. This album is not one of them, fam. It's not. This is a get back. Man, I'm mad. Man, I'm going to take what Taylor Swift did, and she always talks about breakups, and I'm going to do it in my own Du Bois. And then people, like I said, people getting mad because they're like, you didn't even listen to all the how do you have an opinion of something if you didn't listen to it multiple times? How do you have an opinion on something if you didn't listen to it multiple times? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, yeah, if you listen to it one time, right, and you're latching on to one-liners that you think are really cool, it's like, no, look at the substance of it.
There's nothing.
I mean, he's really not.
There's no substance, and that's the problem, bro. Is Drake doesn't he has very little substance, and his substance is Taylor Swift. I'm hurting, please, and that's why she has a lot of fans. Like, listen, she has the same. Drake and Taylor Swift have the exact same story. They started off in a genre, and then they grew out. They wanted to go pop star, and that's what they did. And then Taylor Swift can't go to country and be like, oh, because she's a big artist, she's a better country artist than Garth Brooks. They will shit all them red. Boy, what you say? You say?
What happened when Beyonce dropped a country album?
That's how she would get treated, and that's how it should be. But again, you have hip hop is kind of transcended into pop culture, but it's still like it can't be graded as pop culture because pop culture just means popular. It doesn't mean good. That's all. Oh, it's popular. Yeah, it's just popular music, and popular music is going to continue to go forward long after we're gone. You dig what I'm saying? But like, it's crazy to me that homie used the Michael Jackson glove when was it the Hard Part 6 that he did or whatever it was when he maybe your mic and I'm and now you like, bro, let's be real here. Like,
well, and also I don't think it's a flex being the way that he is when it comes to like he has like tendencies of a dude that will get eventually caught money laundering, where he's just buying ridiculous shit at a ridiculous price just to say that he has it. And don't get me wrong, you got the fuck you money to do it. But buying Pac's ring for that amount of money,
Epstein had fuck you money, and that's not a flex, Drake. I think that's what makes me dislike what he raps about even more. Is like, you're just rapping about having money, bro. Most of the people that have that kind of money they're not good people, dog. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. But Fuck Drake. Realistically, before we move on to the last topic and we can part, I'm curious. I want Drake fans that actually liked it and said that this is a classic. I want y'all to come in the comment section and tell me one thing critical about Drake. Which albums don't you like? Which songs don't you like? What's something critical about Drake that you can say? If you can't say anything, I'm not taking your opinion because you're not being critical. You're glazing. And that's not a real conversation. But
We're not taking any calls on that respectfully because look, I could tell you, after all my years, Kid Cudi's one of my favorite artists, and he's had some misses. Okay, and I mean
that's because
you know,
you're mature.
and I'm a
Well, you're
realist
mature enough to
and I'm a
you're mature
realist
enough to understand that your favorite doesn't mean it's the best. Like if somebody, I had somebody on Twitter, they were like, "Who's your favorite rapper then?" And I was like, "Right now," and they're like, "Yeah, I'd say right now, I'd probably say like Corday." And they were like, "Hell no, Corday!" And I'm like, "How the fuck are you gonna tell me who my favorite rapper is?"
who
Yeah,
my favorite
that's
rapper
crazy, but it's like, bro, it's right now. Yeah, I love his music. It's chill vibes. Homie, he referenced Michael Irvin as a cocaine cowboy. Like, I can't let that slide. That shit is, you dig what I'm saying? So it's like people like that. I can say like I don't think he's the best, but he's my favorite currently. If you ask me who I think is the best rapper right now, like I'll tell you. I'll give you an opinion. Like I'll tell you what I think. If you ask me who my favorite rapper of all time is, I'll tell you. And I'm telling y'all, Drake fans, like y'all think it's just hate. As somebody who listens to music and has listened to the all time greats for a long, long time, Drake ain't in my top 10. If you want to say numbers wise, Drake is top 10. If you want to say Drake to me has two albums that I'm like, that shit is fire. Outside of that, it is just Madden, like I said earlier. I truthfully
I think we should definitely make this a topic with our
no.
other
No.
cohort for the next
Respectfully.
topic.
Respectfully no. Because again, it's a different perspective. It 100% is a different
Mhm.
perspective, but again, it's the I can't listen to your opinion if you're not a fan of something. Just like for instance for me, I'm not a big whiskey drinker, right? If somebody asks me
Mhm.
about my opinion on whiskey, I'm going to be like, I don't know because I'm not a big fan of whiskey. If somebody asked me about country music, I'm going to be like, bro, I don't know. I know songs, but I'm not a huge country fan. So that's the perspective we would get. Well, I hear it on the radio. Shut the fuck up. But, but moving on to the last topic, Isaiah. Max Holloway, Conor McGregor 2. We shortly, briefly touched about it last week. What is your thoughts
Mhm.
about the fight first? Secondly, who wins?
First of all, let's just pray that Connor gets there. Okay, that's the first thing. This man has had a history of saying he's ready. I'm back in the pool. I'm ready. I'm back in the pool. And this has been a calendar. This has been over 5 calendar years since this man has stepped foot in the octagon. And we know what happened last time. You know what I mean? Give him the hot sauce, Dustin. Okay, we knew what happened. That's the biggest thing. Can we get this man inside the octagon? So that's my first take. Can this happen? Um, I honestly, this almost, and it's gonna sound controversial to say, this almost feels like Rousey and Carano because you get. I'm not gonna say it in a bad way, but if you're talking to a person that has been training and has been in some physical activity versus somebody that probably trains but has also been partying and hitting the slopes, if you know what I mean. Over the past 5 years, it's gonna look different. I don't think there should be a question that Max is gonna win this fight. I think it's a question of how fast he does it. If Connor wins, that's it. He's not fighting again. And if he loses, guess what? Motherfucker's not fighting again. So this is going to be, to me, this is his retirement fight, regardless. International Fight Week, perfect. Top it, top of the marquee. We know what's going down. Let's get him in the octagon. Let's make it happen. We don't have any tape, brother. We got no tape on Connor. what are we talking about? And if there's people out there that are gonna go, oh, man, yeah, Connor's gonna get him, you're insane. And I mean that with all the strength, because not only has Max fought Connor, he's also been through the gauntlet of every other, arguably, trailblazers and greats in 3 different divisions. Well, 2 different divisions, but they're fighting at 170, which plays to the strength of Connor. However, Max probably walks around natural at about 175. So
And so his gas tank,
gas tank.
it'll be amazing. I think if he can weather the early storm, which
Mm-hmm.
that's what you have to do against Connor, he gets him out of there. Connor has a puncher's
Mm-hmm.
chance because he does have a mean left. We'll see
Mm-hmm.
Max's jaw after the Ilya fight and then whatnot. But man, look, I truthfully believe that Connor is a character, and everybody who's fought him and been upset with him and gets to know him, they say that he's a character, right? I think the Dustin fights was Connor giving back to Dustin because he starched him on his rise. And truthfully, I believe Connor likes Max, and this is him being like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to fight again. I want to fight you because I think it's exciting. It's red panty night, bro. It's red panty night. Like, that's when you sign me, it's red panty night. It's just that, because he could have fought like he just wants
Yeah.
exciting fights. It's
And to be honest with you, yeah, it's him knowing that about himself, what he meant to the sport in his run, is arguably 3 to 4 year run before other things were going down.
Would you rather watch
I
Connor
mean, can
fight
you
or
blame the man?
Nate Diaz fight again?
I would not want to see Nate Diaz coming back
Yeah,
into the octagon. It's sad.
I'd rather watch Connor.
It reminded me when he was fighting Mike Perry. It reminded me of when Rocky said, "I ain't hit no bell," because he didn't have
Nah, bro, Rocky won
he
that fight
just
after that though.
nothing.
After he didn't hear it,
He
but
won that. So that quote, Ivan Drago, that you loop those together. That was Nate Diaz that night.
are you talking about Ivan Drago against Apollo? Well, that's what I saw.
No, I'm talking about the first 4 rounds of Ivan Drago versus Rocky mixed with that quote.
I didn't hear no bell and it just get beat the fuck. That's what I'm saying, bro. I heard.
It just
No, I heard.
having
I saw.
flashbacks of it.
I saw Apollo. Don't stop this fight for nothing. That's what I was saying. It was ugly. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I seen. And they were like, man, we watched Rocky. Like, let's throw this in. The cut man was like, nah, it's over with. He can't see. Me personally, like I said last week, I don't want to see Nate fight anymore. Bro, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the Diaz brothers. Like, I've always been. I think what they represented was exciting fights, right? And I'm always for that, regardless if they're getting beat up or they're beating other people up. The Stockton slap, the promos, like everything that makes MMA today MMA. The Diaz has had a big hand in that. But brother, in 2026,
Oh yeah,
I don't want to see that shit. I've watched him get beat up. Brother, I watched him get beat up way too much. I watched him get beat up by Jorge Masvidal. I watched him get beat up by Leon Edwards, and he had one moment, and people are, oh, look, look, look. I watched him get beat up by Jake Paul, and now I watched him get beat up by Mike Perry. As a Nate fan, brother, please don't do this to me again.
I'm just gonna commend Conor McGregor for having that stranglehold over the UFC, for him to be like, yeah, I'm gonna fight, and I want to fight Max, and they're like, fight international fight. That's the only time.
Well, they're getting the crowds, bro. But also, Connor said something, and this is 100%. When he was on his rise, he kept saying, "What? I'm the Mike Tyson of this shit." Yeah, you're Mike Tyson now with the face tattoo when he was getting beat up at the end. No disrespect to Mike, please, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, hey, you got it, bro. Like, you got it, OG. But I'm telling you, like, Mike Tyson Mike Tyson before Holyfield, that ship had sailed. Like, it sailed, and we saw it twice. And then the Lennox fight, it was Lennox was like, bro, I'm finna hurt you. But you bite my ankle, I'm finna hurt you. And then after that Lennox fight, he was just getting beat up.
Who would you say? So Connor's Buster Douglas moment was Khabib.
Nah. Connor's Buster Douglas moment was Nate Diaz. He just was able to get that one back.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like, truthfully, I think it's over. He may fight one more time, but I do think that if he fights, First, he has to win, or it has to be competitive. And then even then, it'll take another year before he comes back and fights because he's got to get back on the juice and then get back off the juice. Um,
Yep.
I think he could fight if they talk Gaethje into one more. If they brought Masvidal back for one, I think he would fight one of them at 170. Conor's not afraid to get beat up.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I also hate the fact that you would have to use legacy dudes to make him come back and fight. Like I want when at the height of the Ultimate Fighter season when he was supposed to fight Michael Chandler. No, that's the only other fight I
Retirement.
want to
That's
see.
it. Yeah. If it's a close fight, or really even if he gets starches, I think he has to give Michael Chandler red panty night, and then after that you can walk.
You gotta
Yeah,
give him
dog.
his run,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that ain't fair to him because he waited for you, and honestly, his first couple of fights, bro, he put himself in a position to not have a true rise in the UFC because he was waiting on you, and he waited too
Yeah.
long. And
I'd have waited
then
too.
you're training for one guy. Yeah, I mean, and you're training for one style of fighter, and then you take another style of fighter on a short notice. You look competitive, you lose, right? You fight another guy again, you lose. I think overall, Michael Chandler's like 1-5,
He
1-6 of
beat
the
Dan
UFC.
Hooker, and he kicked Tony Ferguson's head into oblivion,
Yeah, but outside of that, everything else he's
and
took
he's
is
been
an
getting
L.
beat
So
the
you're
fuck up
like,
too. The first Oliveira
yeah,
fight
so
was
that.
kind of competitive for a little bit. The second one, Oliveira ran through him.
Mm-hmm. And then when Patty beat him, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Patty beat the
man,
shit out of him.
you gotta. Yeah, that's the only one that Connor needs to come back for.
He might. If Max,
like
if
you said,
you're
though.
right though, if Max mops him up, it's over with. If Max, I'll say this: if Max sits him down early, like he sat Poirier down, it's over with. It's over with. And Dustin said it. He was like, Max at 55 had so much more power than Max at 45. Max at 70 is going to have more power. Max has been active. Max has been in there. Connor's obviously going to have some ring rust. I do think he comes out. He has that left hand. He can affect Max, but I don't see him as a fighter that can beat Max's style. I think he does kick. He doesn't kick like Dustin. He's not going to calf kick like that. To make slow Max down. He's not Ilya, but I mean, if he beats him, hey, Dana, go ahead and book Ilya and Connor. I want to see them do. They do the exact same shit in the octagon, getting ready. The fucking shit with their arm, like it's the same thing. Like I just let it, and we know what's gonna happen, but I like to see it. What if, man? What if that's a hell of a story? It's not gonna happen, but that's a hell of a story. Like if you bring Connor, like say Connor beats Max, and then Ilya's like, because Ilya said it the other day, like, man, for me. Max should beat him, or Connor should beat him again, because if that's somebody I would want to fight, blah, blah, blah type shit. Like, I don't think he thinks that Max would really lose to him, but he's saying, like, I would rather Connor win, that way I could fight him. I mean, what if Connor got that one left, and Ilya starts, and he can finish him, bro?
Yeah.
What if?
Well, I will say this. If Max still wants to fight, I mean, not Max. If Connor still wants to fight, let's say he beats Max. I think Dana, who is shown to be an absolute jackass, I think Dana would do some shit and be like, give him Ilya. If Ilya beats Justin, why not have Connor fight him? And then you're talking about a whole different game to where you're handcuffing other people within like 3 divisions.
It 100% is. I don't think that he would fight Ilya at 155 for the title, though. Because Connor is not, he's 170 or catchweight. And that, I mean, I watch Ilya abuse that man. It would be ugly. Like, it's.
And I think it would be hard for Ilya to move up.
I don't think he gives a shit. I think Ilya would weigh in at like 160 and just come in just.
All right. I'm gonna walk him down.
I think Ilya would really hurt him. Connor, to me at this point, it's not a money grab because he has more. I think Connor has that old school wrestler, because that's what his whole character has been. He has that old school pro wrestler where it's like, I can't quit it. Like I just want to, and people
Yeah.
like it. I think if they wouldn't be asking for Conor to come back for like, we don't want to see your last fight be your ankle shattering. I think if they wouldn't have stayed on him
Hmm.
like that, I think he would have walked away. He'd have been fine with it. Like if Dustin
Yeah.
stopped him or
Yeah.
if he won that, like I think that would have been it. But because of how it ended, he just doesn't want his career to be remembered like that. Now, because of that, you're probably going to get Anderson Silva treated, and that's okay, buddy.
Yeah. And I think what Connor's
36,
36,
37, he got to be somewhere around
37.
there.
Yeah. So you only got about one or two left in you. Okay.
Not with the steroids
So
he's on.
yeah, I mean, be realistic in your legacy and also be realistic to not do anything stupid to hold up the people that are actually trying to rise through the ranks. You know what I mean? This is a good fight. Max is not in a position to, I don't think, compete for a
Facts.
title again. So this is a perfect. Why not
Honestly,
put them
we're talking
together?
about
Fight.
Connor walking away. Like after Red Panty Night, Max might walk away. Why? I mean,
And I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
fault
either.
him. I mean, I think Max is what
34,
33, 32, 33.
34, I think. Yeah.
So I mean, everything that he's done in the sport too. It's like I'll just start training
I
people.
mean, at that point, he's streaming and doing that shit. I mean, Max, walk away, bro. You got a
Mhm.
kid, you got a wife. Like, come on, bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
But again, we'll see.
you don't
We'll see.
you don't need to be like Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell fighting in their 40s. You don't want
Hey,
to
easy on
end up
Randy
like
Couture,
those
bro.
people.
He was still successful in his 40s. Chuck, that's a completely different story. It's,
Yeah.
gross. Chuck just. And then he just kept wanting to fight. That was Chuck. Chuck is the UFC. Like if we did a quick comparisons, like honestly, Conor is the Mike Tyson. Chuck is the Muhammad Ali. Like he was really like that, and then he just
Yeah.
fought way too long past his prime. Yeah,
Mhm.
like there's you can do comparisons, but like yeah, Chuck just when so he went to Pride to try to make Dana prove that the UFC was better than the Pride fighters, and he caught a young Rampage, and they threw the towel in because Rampage was on that ass. And then you fought Rampage when
Yeah.
Rampage came over to the UFC, and he knocked you out. Now I get it. I get it.
Mhm.
It was Rampage is a good fighter. Maybe you get one or two more under you, and then you fight him again for the title, and maybe you win another title. The very next fight, Rashad Evans hits you with the punch that I've still never seen again. After that, that should have been it. Nope. Nope. Come on, baby. I want to keep fighting. And it's like, bro,
Yeah.
why?
I forgot the dude's name that he fought. That the guy
Rich
broke his
Franklin.
arm.
He kicked him and broke his arm,
Yeah,
and he
and
fucking
he
knocked him out. It's like, bro.
Yeah, he
Yeah, and
threw
you
it.
want to know what Chuck's
And
reasoning for why he kept fighting? Because I was winning the fight up until that point. Brother, you went to
that's
sleep.
pride. Pride is the devil.
Yeah.
Pride is the
Yeah,
devil,
facts.
bro. There's a reason why you ended up
Bro.
losing. Okay, your speed ain't the same. Your chin
Bro.
ain't the same. Your timing
Rampage
ain't the
hit
same.
him hard,
Just-
and I get it. Like, and he didn't go stiff. Pause when Rampage hit him. Right? Rampage had a
Oh, with
brother.
Rashad?
Rashad hit him so hard that the ref didn't even make it there in time. And I swear Chuck was snoring. And Rashad, you can see if you watch the video, Rashad runs up with it cocked back, and then he just stops because he's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's asleep.
Yep.
Yep.
He's
He got slept by Rampage, Rashad, Shogun, Rich Franklin. I think in between there, he might have beat Wanderlei Silva and maybe Keith Jardine. And it's like, yeah, but you're asking for a light heavyweight championship fight, bro. Like now you're about to fight John Jones, and like, please no. Yeah, you should never do that, bro. You should just
not do that.
you should be an ambassador for the UFC and like keep. And have you heard him talk? No
Yeah.
disrespect. Yeah, it's Muhammad Ali,
it's not
bro.
good. Yeah, it's not good, man. I figured he'd eventually try to grow his hair out. It's like, man, the mohawk, it's
Bro,
not
he was
sexy
in the
no more.
club.
Okay? Even James Harden went to
Brother,
braids.
oh god, he needs to let go of that. He was in the club after I don't remember what fight it was, but he was in the club with like Tito and a couple other dudes, and he looked zonked. That boy is on that con. Yeah, he was. Everybody else is partying and dancing and shit. And he's just. People were like, he's old, he's tired, and I'm like, nah, tired and old, you ain't going out. He's there. He's just.
Well, yeah. That's the big facts. If you just old and tired, you ain't even
Facts.
showing up.
Facts.
You're just going straight to
Hey,
your house.
who all there? Nah, I'm cool. I'll,
Yeah.
I'll catch y'all next time. Oh, bro,
Well,
my car won't
man,
start.
it's already
Hell,
9:45, bro.
nine
It's
forty.
too late
You
for all
get me
that.
out the house at 9:40. Like I'm leaving at 9:45. Something wrong. Something is wrong, brother. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
But all
Yeah.
right, brother, we can go ahead and wrap her up here. Tell the listeners what you think, because they was on y'all ass last week. Cameron obviously on them Chiefs take, you on the Patriots take, and then Cameron's been on your ass about the De'Aaron Fox X Factor take too.
Look, man. All right. So here's the thing. I said that because I truly believe that he needs to not turn back the clock, but be consistent with his play as the next factor. So fuck Cameron. Okay, I didn't know. Nobody knew up until 20 minutes before the game was started that he wasn't going to play. Okay, so let's just start there. As far as you Patriots fans, let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you something. I'm only saying this because the amount of controversy, the shame that you've brought on your franchise, whether it be your coach, your owner, your ex head coach,
Hey, leave
your
Bill out of
ex
this.
goat.
Hey, leave Tom out of this too.
I'm just playing as far as that goes. But I mean, my take, I'm sticking to it. And Kadeem, I hope you hear me. Jeff, I
I'll
hope you
clip
hear
it.
me.
Don't worry.
Yeah, go ahead, clip that. Clip that. Okay. I'm on the same time. And if they do it, more power to them. I'm glad that they did it because prove me wrong. Because what I'm seeing right now,
I
it
am
ain't
gonna
gonna
say
happen.
the first question they're gonna say is, "What about them Dolphins though? They're ass."
That's fine. I can accept that. That's the thing. I'm a realist.
You say
Okay.
I'm real about my team. They ass. Y'all just ass too. Is that what you saying?
Yeah. I'm not calling them ass. I just don't see with a division winner schedule, you go into the Super Bowl that you could repeat the success of winning a handful of games, or no, 8 games, I think, by 10 points or less.
I can see that. I
That's
got you.
all I'm
Okay.
saying.
All right.
That's
Well,
all I'm saying.
listeners,
And
fuck y'all.
yeah.
Nah, I'm playing. No, go ahead. What was you gonna say?
One last thing, man, keep listening to us. You know, this was kind of a throw in. It's graduation season. It's about to be summer. You know, there's going to be, when the finals get wrapped up, is basically we back into the NFL talks, back into the UFC talks. You know, so we stay consistent with keeping up with things. Love that people are listening to us and people are commenting on stuff. Some comments are hate. I read them. Okay, I
I
see it.
synced it. I synced it.
So just just know I have a day job. Okay, I don't need some of this egregiousness from y'all.
And if y'all mad about
But I'm gonna
text, bro,
continue to
come
do it.
in the chat and talk. Shit. You got a chance. Like,
Yeah,
it's not like we hiding from y'all. Come pull up. Pull up.
we
Facts.
here.
Facts.
We here.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all for listening. I seen we got some likes and some views and stuff on YouTube. I appreciate it. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. But we out, and hopefully we back next weekend. Peace.
Peace.